Hi, Girl Scouts. It's great to see you all. And for any of you who haven't been to an Inspiring Futures before, I'm Katie Herstein, and I'm the Program and Events Manager at Girl Scouts of Colorado. And I get to be the lucky one who hosts this virtual series where we introduce our Girl Scouts to accomplished women in a variety of professions so you can begin to be inspired about what your own future is going to look like. So, we have the perfect partner that works with us to bring this series to you, and that's College Invest. So College Invest is Colorado's college saving program. So it makes it easy for you to save for your education after high school. So I know that's a long way away for most of you, but it's always good to start saving early. So basically they exist for one reason, and it's to help you and your families put away money to save for your own inspired future. So a College Invest saving plan, it's like a piggy bank, but it's even better because the money your parents or caregivers or grandparents put in your College Invest, it grows and grows their money, and it's tax-free.
Now I know.
It's used for your education.
No.
So your money goes even further. So it can be used to for college just about anywhere across the country, or a trade school, or even an apprenticeship program, which gives you real world work experience. So we're going to hear a little message from College Invest CEO about what she hopes you're going to get out of today's session.
Hi, I'm Angela Beyer, CEO of College Invest, and welcome to this episode of Inspiring Futures. Through Girl Scouts, you've learned that if you can dream it, you can do it. And here at College Invest, Colorado's education savings program, we help you get there. And you're never too young to begin to imagine your inspired future. So how will you impact this world? Will you run your own business, invent a new technology, or maybe even discover a life-saving cure? But wherever your inspiration takes you, a College Invest savings plan can help make your dreams a reality. Now, prepare to be inspired.
Thank you, Angela. Just going to admit one more Girl Scout in here. So some what's your question?
What are we going to be doing today?
I'm going to tell you in just 1 minute, okay? Awesome. So before we get started, some housekeeping items. So we're going to record this session, as you heard, and we're going to post it on our Inspiring Futures YouTube channel. But we won't be saying your faces on the recording part. We'll just be focused on our speaker. So thank you so much for showing me your faces now. I love to see you. It inspires me seeing you guys. So, and we'll have time for asking questions throughout, or you can use the chat, whatever works best for you, okay? And now we're going to do our Girl Scout promise and our Girl Scout laws. Anybody ready to join me?
Did you guys want to listen to this meteorology thing?
On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. Awesome. Next is the law. You ready? Here we go. I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, responsible for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others, respect authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout. So, and who you are here to talk to tonight is Katie Mensch, and she is a meteorologist, and she is here with us today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I can highlight Katie for you so everybody can see her. There she is. Hi, Katie. It's great to see you.
Hi. Thanks for inviting me here.
No problem. And let me make your iPad also a co-host. There we go.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I will share my screen here.
But on some level, like, it probably needed to be.
Looks like I'm not able to share my screen here. It says host disabled attendee screen sharing. There we go.
Did that work?
Yeah, it looks like that worked. Great.
Okay, great.
I can't hear you.
Muted. Sorry, I didn't notice.
It's okay. I cannot hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, we're just getting Katie unmuted.
Okay.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it muted me back again. Okay. Thanks everyone for having me. I'm really happy and excited to be talking to you about my job as a meteorologist or a weather forecaster. And I work at the National Weather Service, and that's actually right in Boulder, Colorado. So just some quick things about me. I was born and raised in New York, so I'm not from Colorado originally. I was interested in weather at a pretty young age, probably around 6 years old is when my parents think that I started becoming very interested in weather. Funny enough, actually, I became interested in weather because I was actually scared of it. I was absolutely terrified of thunderstorms. So that's actually what sparked my interest in in looking at the weather a little bit more intently than other people. So that just continued on. And another really fun fact is that I actually went to school all the way in North Dakota, which for those who don't know where North Dakota is, it's just as far north as you can get before you get to Canada. So it's very north, very cold too. And some of the coldest temperatures I felt were 30 below zero, which is really, really cold. So that was a really fun experience for me. And I've been in Colorado for 2 years working at this job. And I feel very, very lucky to be here. And some things I like to do in my spare time is I like to hike, I play Frisbee, and I also do some running for fun as well. So I'm going to let you guys interact here. So what is your favorite kind of weather? So either you can put it in the chat, or if you want to unmute and say which type of weather that you like, feel free to do so. B, I see a B there. So that's thunderstorms. I used to not like them, but now I do. Windy. Some people like sunny. I'm seeing tons of different answers here. And yeah, it really does depend on the person. Everyone likes their favorite type of weather. Mine actually is snow, so I'm definitely in the right place since I like snow a lot. So yeah. Someone likes A. Some people like rain too. I think a lot of people out here like a little bit of rain out here too, so every now and then. So yeah, thanks everyone for your answers. I thought that would be a little fun. So I'll move on here about what a meteorologist is. So a meteorologist, so it's a pretty long definition of what a meteorologist is. So it's an individual who's specialized in forecasting and also understanding the atmosphere. So we go through a lot of schooling and a lot of experience to better understand how it works up there in the sky. That will help us better forecast the weather for everybody else. So we use a lot of our education to forecast the weather, in other words. So I work at the National Weather Service. I work at the one in Boulder. So that bottom image is actually our absolutely breathtaking view that we see every single day when we walk into the office. So we're very lucky and we're actually located in a larger building surrounded by a bunch of researchers. So that's very unique, actually. And we are one office out of 122 other offices across the country. So we are just one of many, but we all follow the same mission. So our main mission is that we are providing weather, water, climate data, and forecasts and mornings And that whole mission is to protect life and property. So in other words, we want to make sure that everybody stays safe. So with that, we have 14 forecasters in total here. We also have someone that specifically looks at things like rivers and other bodies of water in Colorado. We also have someone, and we also have managers that have different areas that they are special in. And we also have people that that work in technology and technicians, and that they're just the people that make sure that things are running properly, because we have tons of computers. So they are very needed people in our office to make sure things are up and running. So, and another fun fact that just came up here is that we are on shift 24/7, not the same person all day, but we have forecasters shifting different shifts and rotating out all hours of the day, because weather doesn't sleep, unfortunately. So we're always on, and we change different shifts every couple days or so. So another thing I wanted to bring up is teamwork's incredibly important, not only in an office environment, but also outside. It's incredibly important. And we definitely take a lot of, we put a lot of priority on that as well. So outside the office, and we do try to do some service every now and again. Like in that image here on the left is us at the community food share, which was tons of fun. And we did that around Thanksgiving, I believe. And we also ran the relay for Colfax, and we got 3rd place, which allowed us to donate to some nonprofits of our choice. So that was tons of fun and just really great team building exercises. So teamwork is incredibly important in and out of that workplace. So that said, I'm going to actually give you a quick introduction of actually what the office it looks like. So this is just a picture, and no one wants to just look at just a little picture, right? So I'm gonna take the iPad here, and I'm going to do a quick little office tour. Okay, let's see if I can. All right, so I'm going to turn my video off here, and I'm going to switch over to the iPad. All right, can everyone see me over here? It's probably a little blurry.
Yeah, we can see you.
Great. Okay. All right, so we are going to go on a little trip.
Should I take down your slide so we can see you on the main screen?
That is Chad. Say hi to Chad. That's one of our forecasters here. And this is just a quick look at what our operations floor looks like. So as you kind of move around, you see tons and tons of computers here. Just absolutely lots of computers, and we need them. We need every single one of them. So if you look over here, we even have some larger displays out the back here. And those are situational awareness displays, and that actually, we have lots of different things that are up there that help us see how much snow is falling in the mountains, and also.
Katie, we can barely hear you.
It was just really quiet, like it sounded like you were far away.
Okay, can you hear me okay now?
It's
Kind of. It's
Katie,
a
it
little,
sounds like the sound's coming out of your computer as opposed to the iPad, if that helps.
Okay, that might help. Okay, let me see.
I can sort of hear you.
Oh, now.
Same.
Yeah, maybe I'll ditch this effort.
Wait, whatever you just did, you got louder. So maybe if you got, when your face got closer to the iPad, it picked up the sound better.
Is it okay now?
Where's your?
Yeah,
Much better, much
that's
better.
much better.
Yeah. Can we see your
Okay.
office?
Is it? I actually have a couple errors actually that don't allow me to use the microphone, so that could be it.
Yep, there, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. All right, sorry about that. A little bit some technical difficulties here. So,
No problem.
yeah. So as we just wanted to give you a quick little look at what our what we are actually looking at is some weather forecasters here. So here actually we're looking at some computer here.
I have a question.
So we have things like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Are you guys kind of like the news?
So we're a little bit different than the news. So instead of us being on TV, we're the people that are actually kind of behind the scenes almost, and we do the forecast, and we actually talk to them a lot on a daily basis, but we're behind the scenes. So any of the stuff that you see, like a warning that's going out for like a big storm coming, we're the people that are responsible for doing that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, if anyone has any other questions, feel free to ask.
I have a question.
Sure.
How do you know if it's going to snow or rain?
So a lot of the times we look at different data, which actually we look at on our tons of computers that we have. So we look at tons and tons of data. I've been trying to switch my iPad screen around, which would make it a lot easier, but looks like it won't let me. I'm not as technologically advanced on the iPads as most people are.
I hope we get to learn about hurricanes. Like the ones like Hurricane Matthew and Ian.
Yeah, we don't forecast any hurricanes here because I focus on Colorado specifically. So, but there are other offices that I know people work at that actually do forecasts for hurricanes.
Ryan, do you have a question?
Happy to keep taking questions as I try to figure out how
Yeah,
iPads
sorry,
work.
Kyle. I know you unmuted, but I can't hear you for some reason.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We have a question. I didn't know it was unmuted. So, do you guys have to like look at Willie a lot? So, kind of what she's asking is, do you work at nighttime?
Did you hear that, Katie? She asked if you worked at nighttime.
Oh, let me see here. I worked at.
Really other workshops for you to do.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. There we go.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I did.
That's okay.
Yeah, it looks like sometimes our office doesn't get a lot of great service. So unfortunately, I guess no matter how much you tested it, sometimes
No
it doesn't work
problem.
over here.
So one Girl Scout asked if you work at night.
If I work at night, yeah, I do. So I don't work every single night. I work probably about 6 shifts at night, and that kind of rotates out every month or so. I'll work a bunch of night shifts. So we don't work them all the time, thankfully, but sometimes it does happen because weather does not sleep. So, but we do work with another person, so that's really nice. That does keep us awake.
Flexi Girl, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. So where do you get all the information about the weather?
Yeah, so we get tons and tons of different information about the weather. So we actually look at things like these big weather models, and they give us data on what type of big weather storms that are coming in. We also look at what's actually currently happening. So we actually look at different ways to of how we actually look at where the clouds are and if there's any rain coming in or any snow. So we use both things that are current, like things that measure what's currently happening, and we also look at stuff that could be happening in the future. So we just look at tons of stuff on computers. That's really what we do most of the day.
Millie, I can see your hand raised.
All right, go ahead.
Why do you be on TV sometimes?
Oh no.
Did you hear that one, Katie?
Hold on. What are you doing?
Amelia, I'll make sure that your question gets answered, just seeing where she went.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Katie, you're on mute.
Can we share what our names are?
Yeah, Katie, are you there? There you are.
So it looks like it's only when I share my screen that I actually get muted. So I'm not sure why that's happening.
So one Girl Scout asked if you ever want to be on TV.
If I ever want to be on TV. I think I definitely do prefer to be more behind the scenes, because if I were on TV, I wouldn't be the one that's actually issuing a lot of the weather warnings. So that's actually something that I like doing. So I think I do prefer to be the one that's behind the scenes. Although I do know a lot of people on TV, and they really do enjoy being on TV.
We have a question. Can we share our names?
Can you share your names? Sure.
You want to go first? So, hello, everybody. My name is Mika. I'm 9 years old, and I'm in 3rd grade. This is my sister, Vivi. She's 6 years old, and she's in 1st grade.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. I think I may have fixed the issue with the muting issue. So if everyone can still hear me and I have the presentation going, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it looks like I had some issues with our iPad over here. Probably just some Wi-Fi issues. So some of the screens here are what I was trying to show you up on the iPad here. So there's some things like, so one of the main things that we do is forecast the weather. So we look at it, we have tons of screens that we look at and we need a lot of them in front of us. So it just allows us to look at different things at the same time. And then that image below is actually the process that we take to actually make the forecast itself. So there's lots of stuff that we do look at on the computer. It's a very computer heavy position. So I did talk a little bit about this when I answered someone's question, and this is actually how I forecast the weather. So this is just the different examples of the different things that I look at every single day that helps me forecast the weather. So some of this is what's called radar. It actually looks at if there's any thunderstorms or rain in the area. Another one in the top right, that's satellite. So that helps me look at things like clouds. And on the bottom left, that's actually that's a weather station. So you might actually be passing by those all the time when you're driving. And those actually take very important measurements for us, like wind, temperature, and that helps us actually understand what's going on at that time. And on the rightmost, on the bottom, that's actually what helps us predict out into the future. So this actually is predicting a big system that's going to be pushing into Colorado in this example here. So we look at tons of stuff that helps us, forecast, and that eventually gets out to you guys. So I want to show a fun video. I'm going to show, so I don't know if anyone's ever seen a weather balloon before. So that's actually another form of where we get different weather information. And it's a balloon that goes all the way up into the atmosphere. And it gives us different weather information, actually. So I will pretty much just fast forward here to them blowing up the balloon. So this is, we actually blow up the balloon with either helium or hydrogen gas. And this is done by weather service employees themselves. And then they tie off the balloon with a rope, and we also attach it with a little bit of an orange parachute that you can see here. And I'm just fast forwarding here for time's sake. And this is her launching the balloon here. Up, up, and away. There it goes. So that is a fun thing that is done twice a day, actually, at the National Weather Service. And then just some more things on what we do. So another thing that we do is that we post tons on social media. So like Facebook and Twitter, we're on it. So there's tons of fast moving things going on. So we're always. And we also talk to different people, and we communicate with them what the weather could be. So we talk to people on things like what the roads are going to be like. We also talk to people from the media. We also do lots of interviews with them, and that's why we sometimes end up on TV every so often for bigger storms coming in. And another thing is that we also communicate with people like emergency responders, so like your police department, your fire department, because they care about the safety of people just as much as we do. So we communicate with them a whole ton. So we're actually going to do a fun little thing here. So I'm going to put you guys in the forecaster chair. So hopefully you guys are ready. I think you guys are. So so the home run derby's in town, and you guys are the forecasters on duty, and you're going to be giving a heads up if there is some dangerous weather coming in. So by dangerous weather, I mean thunderstorms, anything like wind and hail. And don't worry, I'll be with you too, so I can help you guys out when we're on shift.
Vivi, step the water bottle.
All right, so the game is ongoing, and so we see this come up, and I'm gonna tell you guys that doesn't look good. There is that's a pretty big thunderstorm that's heading our way, and as we know, thunderstorms are not safe because of the main thing, they have lightning. So, and that purple star is where we are, and that's where we want to make sure people are safe at. So it's moving into this direction, so it is moving towards that area, and it looks like now our new data is coming in, and we have some lightning with it. So what do you think's going to happen? And do you think this could be a bit risky for people? So what should we do? I got a couple answers here, so I'll let you guys decide here. We could get a hot dog because there's plenty of hot dogs out there. Maybe we're a little hungry. We could warn the person that's in charge of the public safety at the game, or we could just wait a little bit longer and wait for that storm to get a little bit closer. So let's see what you guys think. Seeing a lot of bees here.
How do we choose our answers?
Put them in the chat.
How do I do that?
If you click the more button, you'll find a word chat, and you can click on that along the bottom. Maybe you don't see that, but if you want, you can just unmute and tell us.
B. I chose B because I think that's a good idea.
I think so
It
too.
is. I agree. And it is a great idea, and you guys did a great job. So what we'll do is that we're going to give them a call.
I chose B.
Then will we get a hot dog?
And then we can get a hot dog.
That was white. They said A and B.
Okay, so this is actually what happened. So what actually ended up happening is the storm did end up hitting the baseball field. So you can see in that picture there's lightning right outside there. So because we gave that call to them, they were able to get evacuated and find shelter. So no one got hit by lightning. So we did it. So good job.
Hey.
Yeah, good job, guys. And that is something that's like one of the things that we are in charge of as part of our job, is that we actually communicate with people that will help evacuate others to keep them safe. So that's one of the few things that we do as meteorologists. So kind of in that same area, we if you've ever been on watching TV and a big storm's coming and you see it going across the bottom part of your screen saying all the, big thunderstorm coming your way. So we're the people that are in charge of that too. So we're the ones that are issuing all types of warnings. So things like tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, just for a few examples. We also do everything in terms of winter weather as well. So we're the ones that are behind the scenes of these very high impact events. So we do all this to warn everybody in its path. So that is one of the other things that we do. So you want to become a meteorologist. So if anyone is still, thinking like this could be pretty fun, these are the subjects that would be very interesting, which you would want to be interested in. That would definitely like help you become a meteorologist. So things like math, geography, like looking at maps, things like reading and writing, but the big ones are math and science. Math and science are very, very important things to go into it. So if you like those subjects, you'll definitely like being a meteorologist a lot.
I do like math a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's tons of math that goes into it. So yeah, science also. So if you like those subjects, this is definitely would be a really fun career for you. Yeah, so this is what I did to get into the weather service. So I got 2 degrees. So I got my first degree in New York, and I got that in meteorology, and I also kept going and I got a master's. So that's another 2 years. And you don't need that to be a meteorologist. I just liked research, so I kept going for a couple more years before ending up here. But it's also really important to get experience in the career that you want to do. So that's where you do internships. And you can do and I actually did internships with the National Weather Service. So that made me really decide that this is what I want to do. So, and no path is ever the same for anybody. You could go to any school that you want to go to that has meteorology as an option for you to learn education-wise. So there's lots of different ways that you can get to the National Weather Service, not just mine. So, and really, this is just a slide, just me discussing like what it means to me. So a lot like what you guys say when you guys do the promise. I serve the public. I as a forecaster, I serve too. So I serve the public. So I really enjoy communicating with and informing people on things like by talking to people one-on-one, and I also like communicating with people on a large-scale outreach basis too. So, and a lot of that, as a result, promotes people to be prepared, and it also keeps people safe, especially in more severe weather situations. So I had a couple examples of some things like answering the phones. Anyone can call the National Weather Service office with questions. So I'm always happy to answer people's calls or questions. But also on the other side, we also do, I could be informing an official that's working on a big wildfire on what the winds could be, which is incredibly important. So there's lots of different ways to help people. And there's also things like issuing a big warning that could be helping people in its way, and just posting graphics or pictures on the internet for people to see that can help them prepare for something. So there is a lot of service, and it really is a very enjoyable and valuable thing to know that you are helping people, since the weather really does impact everybody here. So just a quick thing on advice. So it doesn't matter if you want to be a forecaster or anything. It really just to stick with what you like, stick with your passion, and just remind yourself what you're passionate about, and to ask questions. And this is regardless if you want to be a forecaster or not, because those are the 3 things that definitely got me to where I am today, to be happy in my career. So, and if you are interested in being a meteorologist, there's lots of things that you can do, even though you guys are a little bit further away from going to college right now. There are tons of things that you can do, even just being interested in weather. There's tons of things you can do. So you could be a storm spotter, and you'd have to sign up for that with your parent or guardian. But you can help people. Help us see, be the eyes for us for things that maybe we might not see, or just help us. And you could also, if you're interested, take a tour of NOAA, and that's the building that I work in, or NCAR, it's another weather building in Boulder. And these are actually right in Boulder, so you can always take a tour of those places. And we also appreciate when people measure rain or snow for us. And there's also something called Kokoraz that allows people to measure rain and snow for us, which is incredibly helpful for us. And if you're getting closer to that college age, finding a college with meteorology and atmospheric science degrees is that next step. And there's tons of other career fields as well. So things like broadcast meteorology, very close, close career intertwined with us. You could be, and there's also other careers, like you could be working in research, you can teach, or you can look at wind or solar energy. So there's lots of other related fields as well. Provided some useful links here. You don't have to copy these down. I can end up sending this presentation on, which can be forwarded to you all to have these useful links. These are with tour info, and there's also some links at the bottom here that actually, if you want to learn a little bit more about weather, there's some very user-friendly links for kids' education on learning more about weather. And yeah, so I know we took some questions along the way, but I'm open for any further questions here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was really informative. I know I have a couple questions, but let the Girl Scouts go first. So Fiona, I see you've got your hand raised. Do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Do you work with other Do you work with other stations to help with others to help with the weather?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so we not only do we talk to broadcasters all the time, but we also talk to neighboring weather offices also. So we like to all talk to each other so that we, especially if something that we don't feel confident on, we'll talk to other people and we'll be like, oh, like, what are you thinking? So we definitely talk to people all the time. And it's a very important part of our job is to be not only talking to other offices and stations, but also like, people in our own office too.
Oh, fire dog.
Thanks, I didn't know.
How about Taylor? Taylor, what's your comment or question? We're having trouble hearing you. Maybe you could type it in the chat. I don't know why some of the sounds aren't working. Let me try Olivia next.
How do you know when a storm's coming?
Yeah, so there's lots of ways for us to know when a storm's coming. So one of the first things that we see is that we look at what's called radar. So that's almost like it actually takes a laser beam into the atmosphere, and it actually reflects off these big storms, and it actually gives us a picture of what the storm looks like. So we're able to see storms that are coming from long way. So that's why we're able to warn people far before that it actually hits their house.
Okay, and in the chat, there's a question. What happens if there's a really bad storm you didn't predict?
Well, if there's a bad storm that we don't predict, the first thing that we do is that we take a step back and we are scientists. So we look back and we actually see what went wrong. So there's tons of different factors that can go into a missed forecast. So as scientists, we're always incredibly interested to see what went wrong and what we could be doing to improve for the next one. So there actually could be some research that could be going on with that, and just lots of different factors that are looked at if something was missed. That could be things like, staffing, experience, or it could just be maybe the forecast was just very difficult. So yeah, tons of things to look at, and that's part of being a scientist.
Awesome. And does your office cover the whole state, or does your office also move into like Wyoming and other states?
Yeah, so at our office, we cover just the northeastern part of Colorado. So we pretty much cover just that northeast section. So we pretty much go from all the way. So if I made a line here, we'd probably go from Steamboat down all the way to about around just north of Colorado Springs, and just all the way that. So it's like that northeastern sector of Colorado. But some other offices do have several states in their areas.
Okay. And is it your office that sends the alerts to people's phones?
Yep, that's us. So that is part of the job, and that's what's different between us and broadcasters. So we're the one. So broadcasters are mainly just on TV giving the weather information out, while we are the people that are putting out those things that get sent to your phone.
Right. Neat. So we know it's coming from you guys when we see it. And somebody has been to the NCAR on a school trip and is wondering about the NOAA and the age bracket for tours there.
Yeah, so NOAA does offer tours as well. I believe we had a little bit of a stoppage in tours for the winter season, but I believe, as far as I know, those are coming back up, as I think in May and through the summer months as well, and into next year, hopefully. So those tours are starting back up. So in terms of age bracket, I don't believe there is any specific age bracket. I believe it is very open to anyone in the public. So if a school were interested, they could easily contact NOAA for any information on school trips.
Okay. We do have a few Girl Scouts that are not in Colorado on the call. So I suspect there's a bunch of, like you said, there's quite a few stations all over the country, right? So yeah, they would have a local office just like Katie has near where you live. Do you specialize in space weather at all?
So I don't have any specialization in space weather, although people in this very building do. So we actually work in the same building as the Space Weather Prediction Center, and that's a very special thing. We're one of the only office that does. So yeah, the space weather prediction system is just the couple floors down from us. So and they're the ones that are very specialized in space weather. So if anyone ever calls our office about a space question, we're usually going downstairs to bother them about it.
Awesome. Yeah, so I just see Jenny Hill's comment. So what Jenny I can do is I'll pass along all the information to everybody so that you can connect with Katie and probably have a Girl Scout into the office.
We have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
Go ahead, baby. Is being behind the scenes fun?
I like it's fun. Yeah, I like being behind the scenes. I don't mind being on TV every so often, but I definitely like being behind the scenes because that allows me to talk to people. So people call the office all the time. So it definitely lets me, in a different way, talk to communicate with other people.
So my question is about school closings. So because all these girls are at school, some homeschooled, I'm sure, but how do they figure out when to say no school, snow day?
Yeah, that's a great question. And crazy enough, we're not the ones that are making the call actually. So, but the people that are making the call are they're actually they're actually on these calls that we give out. So if we have a big storm coming, a lot of superintendents, which are the people that are in charge of deciding when if there's going to be a snow day, they're usually people that are listening on these calls that we host to people in front of a bigger incoming event. So they're definitely making the calls, but I guess it all comes down to our snow maps and how much snow. So I would be interested to see what everyone's maximum snow before they actually close schools. But I think a lot of it also has to do with the timing of the snow too, and that helps them with things like delays. And yeah, if the snowstorm is, if it finishes early enough, then maybe they'll be thinking a little bit more like, oh, maybe I'll make this a delay rather than actually closing school. So we definitely do have some weight in if they're going to close school or not, but not all the weight in the world.
All right. And can you predict, right? Because normally we have a very snowy March and April, but it doesn't seem like we've had so much snow this season. Do you predict that it's still coming, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, right now it's looking a little on the drier side right now. So for now it's looking a little bit dry. We're not seeing any bigger storms that are on the horizon, like that big Pi Day storm we had a couple years ago. So yeah, not seeing anything too crazy. And like you said, yeah, in the spring season, we do tend to get a couple very big snowstorms that can happen in the spring season. So We're hoping to get at least maybe one would be nice, just to keep things nice and moist for the season. But typically, actually, our spring months can get a little bit on the, like March can get a little bit on the drier side sometimes. But usually as we head into the summer months, it actually starts increasing again. So typically, it's almost like a gradual increase into spring and into summer. So yeah, hoping that it will end up getting a little bit more wet as we go on into April.
Awesome. I know I'm a camper, so I always appreciate all the moisture we can get so we can have campfires when we're camping. And does your team predict 10 days out, or what's your typical forecast?
Yeah, so we predict out to 7 days.
7 days. Awesome. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So what the weather could be like right now?
Say it one more time.
Do you know what the weather could be right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'd have to look. I can take a wild guess about what it's like right now. I can just look out the window. Looks like it's a little cloud. There's some clouds around right now, but I know before I got on this call, it was in the upper 50s, lower 60s. So it was pretty warm out before I got on this call.
We had a pretty nice day today. Looks
Yeah,
like you
very
girls
nice.
are outside. Are you outside right now?
Yeah, we're outside right now.
Awesome.
Well, you'll have another day for that too. So tomorrow's gonna be very nice also. Might even hit 70 actually.
Ooh, wow.
But then after that, it might get a little cold for a little bit.
A little dip. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all this. It's very exciting to hear. Do we have weather watchers among the group here? Do you girls like to watch the weather and see what's coming? Millie does. Yeah. Taylor. Because that's I think what Katie was like when she was around your age. Cloud watchers here. Yes. Yeah. Did you love watching the clouds, Katie, when you were young?
Oh, very much. Yeah, I really did like it.
Yeah. It's fun to be up in an airplane and be feeling like you're in the clouds.
Yeah.
Awesome. Taylor, I see your hand is raised. Do you have a question? No, we're still having trouble hearing you, unfortunately. Are you able to type it in? No, we still can't hear you. Sorry about that. But I can get your question to Katie if your caregiver wants to email it to me. I can make sure I get that question. All right. Well, thank you so much, all Girl Scouts, for joining us. I really appreciate your time with us tonight. We learned so much from you, Katie, and I really appreciate your time too. So can everybody unmute and give a nice thank you?
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Awesome, Girl Scouts. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye. Have a good night.
Thank you guys.